Okay, mister, we're just going to go into the first paragraph because I don't want to do the intro because I've done that 100,000 times. So great. Okay, wonderful. Moving into center stage in the glaring light that focuses mistakes in vivid, living color. That's right. Ever had a time when your parents are talking to a person or group of people about a mistake their child made, and that child is sitting or standing right next to them? It's almost as if they're talking behind your back, right? That's how I feel when my dad preaches about me. It's like, Dad, front row here. I'm sitting in the front row and I can hear every single word you're saying. Let me give you some examples. One time in the Christmas season, we had just set up our beautiful Christmas tree. We got the lights, the ornaments, all the decorations, even the popcorn. Now I managed to knock this beautiful Christmas tree over. I broke some lights and some ornaments, and popcorn was all over the floor. Do you know what my dad preached about on that Sunday? He preached about me knocking over the Christmas tree. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to tie it into his sermon. And guess how I felt, huh? Not very good, right? Yeah. He has a gift. Another time, in the fall, clouds with peaks of sunshine bursting through the clouds. I had asked my dad just jokingly and in the curiosity of a child, Dad, are those dead body souls being raised to heaven in the pillars of light? Just jokingly, right? Wrong. Way wrong. Way wrong. Do you know what he preached about me on Sunday? Guess what? He preached about me asking him if dead body souls were raised to heaven in the pillars of light. The nerve he has. Oh, good gracious. It's as if once a pastor is ordained, they are bestowed upon the gift of tying every living experience to their sermons, especially when it comes to their kids. So as a pastor's kid, you get preached about a lot. And on those particular Sundays, you don't really want to go to church. And he wonders why. Now, a much better experience and topic. Soul food, that's right. The Common Sense Dictionary describes a potluck as a gathering place of meatballs, lasagna, casserole, devil's food, angel's food cake. That's on the other side of the street. And 7 days of creation salad. But last but not least, round of applause for Jell-O, that's right, Jell-O. You have to have Jell-O at a church potluck. If you do not, you are breaking how many commandments are there? The 12th commandment, that's right, you are breaking the 12th commandment if you do not bring this fine gentleman to your church potluck. Now let me tell you, when my church learned this the hard way, it was a dark and stormy night, and this one gentleman was supposed to bring all the Jell-O. And do you know how elderly ladies can be a bit rude, right? To say the least. Well, this one lady was just that. And when she found out that the one kind gentleman did not bring the Jell-O, that set off the thunder and the lightning for her. Ka-chow! That's right. She went ballistic on him. Now, finally, my dad got her to calm down after a few punches were thrown. But from that day forward, we remembered to bring the Jell-O to our church. We never forgot it, and we've always honored the 12th commandment ever since. Now my dad, he loves 7 days of creation salad, otherwise known as 7-layer salad. That's right. He'll ask for it all the time. Whenever he hears a potluck, he'll ask for it in 2 months in advance, 1 month, the week of, the day of. He'll even ask for it while he's preaching about me in his sermon. He loves 7-layer salad. Ironically, hardly anyone ever brings 7-layer salad to our church potluck. Which gets to thinking, maybe people don't really like my dad. That would explain a lot. So bring the Jell-O, and do not forget the 7-layer salad, unless you would like to become sermon material for that next Sunday, which would actually benefit me, because then you wouldn't have to preach about me all the time. Now, my favorite experience. Sanctuary seating. That's right, assigned seats in church. Have you ever been to a social gathering or event of any type? And the certain types of people, young, old, people with children, babies, they have the natural migratory inclination to the exact same spot in church. Do you know where this spot is at my church? Ho, ho, ho! It is in the back of the church. That's right, the very back, the farthest away from the pastor, the back. There's a barrier between them and the pastor. Now, these last rows in which they sit on are roped off, and they say, "Do not sit here." That's right, they actually say that. Why do they sit there? Because there's a barrier between them and the pastor? Invisible. But really, we have a TV camera that shows our sermons and services live. And it shows the middle of the church on up. Guess where everybody's sitting? Not in the middle of the church, not in the front, but in the back of the church. Now, the one time these people change their natural migratory inclination is when half the people that don't go to church come to church. That's right, Christmas Eve. But instead, do you know where they sit? Not the back, not the middle, not the front, but even farther away from the pastor, the balcony. They sit in the balcony. It's as if over the Christmas season, they committed a sin so atrocious trying to be good for old St. Nick that their barrier got even wider between them and the pastor. They can't even be near the pastor. So please, I am begging you, sit in the middle or the front. Do not leave these pews open. I mean, I could use some company being preached about all these times. Now, my PK experiences have shown me these revelations. Folly happens, and sermon stories can be used to teach others, whether I like it or not. Fine dining is the heart of every potluck, especially when it comes to Jell-O. And front row seating is wanted at concerts, but avoided like the plague at church. Now, I think there's something going for us pastor kids. Sure, we usually get a little stricter teaching, but truthfully, this has turned out for the best, right? I mean, look at me. But remember this simple truth. We do not have everything under control, especially when it comes to sermon stories, sanctuary seating, and most importantly, Jell-O.